this is Dr. Rania from Dental 101, and in this video I'll explain the common mistakes in the rubber dam task that comes in the skilled OSCEs in the ADC exam. First common mistake is the floss is not secured in the holes of the clamp. So as we know, we have to secure our clamp with the floss that goes into the holes. So we cannot secure our clamp putting the floss or making a knot with the floss around the bow. We need to put it in one hole and then have it around the bow like with 1 or 2 rounds, and then get it from the second hole. So by the end you should have your clamp secured with a floss in the 2 holes of the clamp. Next common mistake is incorrect clamp selection. So we have in the exam different tasks, and according to the task or the teeth that we would like to isolate, we will decide which tooth we will put the clamp on. And after that, if we select a premolar, so we should select a premolar clamp. If we select an upper molar, we should select the upper molar right clamp. So either 12A or 13A will go for the molars. And as we know that 12A is for the second and fourth quadrant, and 13A is for the first and the third quadrant. And we have an anterior clamp for the single anterior tooth isolation. Now we have the mistake is that the floss is not long enough. So either having the floss very short or having it very long is not acceptable. It should, as we know, after it comes out from the buccal side, then it should reach up to the level of the shoulders of the patient. If it is too short, then it will not be able to retrieve the clamp if something went wrong. If it is too long, then it can be stuck with or can get interfere with the work environment or with any instruments or anything that you're doing during the task. In this mistake, the clamp is not secured properly with the floss, which means that it's not just going from one hole and going around the bow and then exits from the other second hole. We cannot do it just on one knot in one hole. Also, we cannot make the knot. You cannot make the knot, like for example, you can't make the knot over only around the bow or in this area only. We need to insert it from one hole and go around the bow and then get it out from the buccal side, the second hole on the buccal side. So if this is planned to be on the buccally, so the floss need to come out from this hole. See here, in this case, only the bow is secured with the floss, and this is not acceptable. We need it to be secured or going through the 2 holes, because in case if you got fracture in your clamp from the middle, then you will be able to retrieve both parts. Here we got that the end of the floss is not oriented toward the buccal side. So as we have explained earlier, the floss, like the end of the floss, we should insert it here and then goes around the bow, and it should come out the buccal side. If you start flossing or securing your clamp from this hole and then you get it in this side, after that it will be really making some mess here in this area, and then it will be it can stuck with all the work, make it difficult. So it's really important to insert it from here and then get it outside from the buccal side, and then it will be easily going there outside. In this point, the clamp doesn't have a 4-point contact on the clamp tooth surface. So as we know, it's really important to have a 4-point contact on the tooth surface. We should not have it for example, if you got a 2-point contact here and this one is impinging on the gums or or like or on the sheet, then you will not end up having a 4-point contact on the clamped tooth. So it's very important to have this area and this area and this area performing a 4-point contact on the clamped tooth for a successful isolation. In this mistake, the rubber dam sheet is not inverted around the teeth. So usually, if they ask you for a task, for example, a filling on this tooth, and then at the end, after you complete your isolation, you need to invert the rubber dam sheet so it will simulate the cervical gum. So in this tooth, for example, or in this isolation here, it's like it's not inverted, it's overstretched, and there is a gap. So if the isolation is performed in a better way, you should not have a gap, and you should invert this sheet. So this part will be inverted to go inside, and you will end up having a nice outline of the rubber dam sheet around the neck of the tooth. This is one of the important criteria for rubber dam, and I can suggest, or I strongly advise you to start inverting the sheet around the tooth that you will perform the task on, like the working area. Because, for example, if you will perform a filling on that tooth, it should be properly isolated. So in the assessment, they will assess the inversion of the sheet around the tooth in the working area. One of the common mistakes that we usually see is that the sheet is not secured in all the hooks of the frame, which leads to unstable frame. So as you can see here in this photo, like the candidate here, he put the sheet on this hole and like all the holes, and then he left one hole, and sometimes people, they left this hole and the hole on the other side. So it's really important to make sure that you use all the holes in the all the hooks in the frame to have a stable, so you'll end up having a stable frame and a stable sheet and better quality isolation. Also, one of the common mistakes is covering the nose of the patient while doing the rubber dam and after finishing the task. So you need to be careful while you're performing the task. Like when you inserting your sheet over the teeth or over the clamp, you need to watch the patient face and his nose, not to cover his nose or like impinge on the face in general. This is important, and at the end of the task, we should not also be covering the nose. Also, we should not be having a space in here. Like I have seen many people, after they complete the task, they will end up like having this sheet will be opened here, and there is a gap between the sheet and or let's say the lips are exposed. The lips should be covered, because if the oral cavity is exposed, then it's not a proper isolation. So there are two important points here: not to cover the nose and not to have an open space to the mouth from this area. Very important. So you can fold this area here to make sure that you're closing the oral cavity or the mouth from the top, and you're not covering the nose at the same time. Well, in these mistakes, the clamp impinging on the gum or on the sheet. Also, this is one of the common mistakes that we can see with many candidates. The clamp, as you can see, should not impinge on the sheet in here, and should not impinge on the gums as well. So usually, if you ensure from the beginning that you're having a 4-point contact in the tooth, this will make sure, like ensure that you are not impinging on the gum, and your clamp is not resting on the gums or on the sheet itself. So we should avoid having these parts, like this part and the other part there, should not be impinging the gums or should not be sitting on the sheet, the rubber dam sheet here. Right, this is important. This mistake explains that we have an exposed gum around one or more teeth. So if you've got any exposed area, so sometimes it happens here, sometimes it happens here, sometimes lingually, so we should avoid having that. Any exposed gum around the tooth or around the clamp, this can be considered not a proper isolation. Um, and what are the reasons of having this gap around the teeth? In this case, I can see that the sheet is overstretched. It can be one of the reasons. If you're making a bigger hole than it's required, then it can cause an exposed gum. Or like for example, if it is like too much stretched from here or pushed down because of the clamp, it can lead to having a gap. All right. Sometimes it can be torn, and then you didn't notice that it's torn. Like while inserting it or like while stretching it, it can be torn, and then it will create a gap. So in order to avoid the gap, avoid all avoid all the mistakes that I have explained earlier, avoid stretching the sheet, and avoid having a bigger hole. Be careful not to let your this area to be torn. If it is a small gap, it can be managed by adding the collocating agent that's available in the exam. If it is a minor one, I think this is a big one. So if it is a smaller one, then you can fill it up with that material just to show them that you are aiming at a proper isolation and having no exposed gums. Exposed gums, they indicate that this is not a proper isolation. So I hope that this video that explains the common mistakes in the rubber dam task of the skilled OSCEs in the ADC exam is helpful to you and can guide you how to avoid doing mistakes in this task and then end up passing this task. If you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to call us or email us in the number and the email here on the screen. Thank you and very good luck for everyone.